My research work is around, wait for it, intergenerational human systems complexity. What does that mean? What it means is that human beings are complex, and especially complex when you look at human beings across generations. And on top of that, we're in all these complex systems, complex natural systems, complex human-created systems, and the whole thing is an entangled mess. My research work looks at that entangled mess. We have some people in the group today. I see a couple of people from the Loops Knitting Group. I want you to imagine a whole bunch of balls of yarn, and they're all becoming unraveled, and they're all getting intertwined and knotted and looped into each other and meshed out, and it's spreading out. The entire sofa is covered by this entire intertwined, multicolored mess of yarn. That's complexity. That's what I try and work with. And the hard part about that is you just can't fix that. You can't easily figure that out. The work that I do is about trying to figure out how do we find our way through that entangled mess. And that's a really big question because you can't do it directly. We talk about climate change, for example. Okay. We talk about carbon. It's a problem with carbon. And we need to reduce carbon. And that's true, and that's how we try to get to it. The problem is that human beings don't live carbon, they live lives. And you can't go in directly through the carbon. You have to go in through human lives. That's a really important thing that we're missing. Otherwise, we can't find our way through that entangled mess. We're used to thinking in straight lines, right? And straight lines are great if you're going to fix a car. Go through each of the parts in order, find the part that's the problem, maybe take that part apart and maybe clean it or maybe order in a new part, and then you got to put everything back and make sure all the bolts are in the right place. It's a very straight line, strategic, linear way of tackling a problem. But remember, we've got this entangled mess of yarn. There is no straight line through that entire entangled mess of yarn. I mean, how do you fix that? Okay, there's the red piece of yarn going through the entangled mess. I am going to pull on that red piece of yarn. All that does is tighten up the mess. All right, I'll take a pair of scissors and I'll cut that red piece of yarn. That doesn't fix anything. Okay, the red yarn is cut, but it doesn't solve the entangled mess. To deal with the entangled mess, you have to think differently. One of the things that makes us amazing and human is our ability to think and learn. And what we need to do right now more than anything else is to think differently and unlearn. Not think in straight lines, but think in curved lines and in complexity. And we can do it. We do it all the time. We have to do a lot of complex tasks as human beings. We walk, we talk, we write. All of those are really complex, but we've learned how to do them in a way with our brain that we're not aware of the complexity that we're dealing with. What we need to do is start addressing the entangled mess in the world in that same kind of way, not just using the logical straight line thinking. So the 7th-generation work is really a big game of connect the dots. And we're not talking, straight line, connect the dots. We're talking like all over, curvy, entangled dots connecting. Lots of curves, lots of overlapping. And what that does is it's going to open up more possibilities that we can't see right now.